right, Bulls fans, welcome back to another episode of Bulls Brothers. Um, rough, rough game against Navy this week. Kind of feel like we're back where we started a little bit. What are your thoughts there, AJ?
Yeah, we've been riding this line for a long time. It's kind of a wave. And yeah, this was a pretty bad loss, just looking at it, but Navy's a good team. I think maybe they are ranked again now after that win, but have been ranked this season. They went 6-0, so they're a strong team. We had some what I think are okay bright spots, but we had a lot of miscues and a lot of dark spots, if you will.
Yeah,
So that's how I feel about it.
yeah. First, I mean, they came out hot. I guess we shouldn't have expected anything different.
Hmm.
Of course, we're kind of back to the which half are we going to get out of the team? And unfortunately, when it is the second half, you kind of you're going into the second half down, and just with the situation on offense right now,
Yeah.
we were able to pull it out the last couple of weeks and get it back in the second half. Just this week, just kind of
But
wasn't our week.
just like Galesh said, against lesser opponents, he said it would be much harder to do against a good team. And, Navy
Here it was.
is a good team, and it's harder to do. It was harder to get back from that hole that we dug ourselves into. And Navy did come out hot. They came in after two losses, on what had previously been an undefeated season, and they were, you know, about
Probably,
their business.
yeah,
They
they were
had a
a little bit
mission.
pissed off almost. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. And so they came out the first two drives, just walked down the field, dismantled us, and drove it in,
yeah,
which I was very disheartened by. Uh, but really, after those first two drives, we stopped them, what I think, five times in a row.
yeah.
So, we adapted and, kind of stood up to the challenge. We were already in a 14-point hole, so that's not a great place to be playing from, but we did adapt.
Yeah. I mean, no matter how
Offense,
good you
yeah,
are as a team, you can't. It's always going to be tough for a team to play from a 14-foot,
yeah,
deficit. It's
down two touchdowns, absolutely, yeah.
yeah,
Um, and the reality is, if we could have kept up, our defense kind of stood up. If our offense could have done anything, we drove down the first drive, and I was like, all right, here we go.
yep,
Um, and then threw an interception, you
yeah.
know, and uh, and then that was kind of it. We were stagnant for the most part of the first half after that first drive. Um,
Well, I mean, it's a confidence killer. You go out there, you get a couple of good plays in, and the heart's racing, the blood's pumping, and then it just like that, it deflates you when
yeah,
you've worked so hard to get into that position, and then and
it sure as hell deflates me.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, especially, I was at the game. I was, sitting right behind the Bulls sideline, and kind of back to what we talked about a couple weeks ago. It's there's something. It's just off on the sideline. They didn't, they were just standing there, kind of just watching it unfold. There was no passion on the sideline. There was no one.
yeah,
And of course, I can't hear what they're saying, and they come off the field, and I'm
yeah. But
sure
you could
they're.
see their
It
body
just,
body language
yeah.
speaking just as loud as their words. So I understand that. Yeah,
Yeah, and it was tough. That first drive, Bryce threw the interception. It was a tough spot for him. He was under some pressure, got hit when he threw it. I listened to the post game press conference, and
yeah,
his thoughts on it were, hindsight's 2020. Everyone's going to say, why didn't you just throw it away? But I thought I had a chance to impact the game, and I just I missed a guy, and it ended
yeah,
in an interception, and it is what it is. The second interception he threw was a little bit uglier, and maybe not quite as poorly timed. Any interception is poorly timed, but that first one really kind of took the wind out of the sails, and the
yeah,
team, it took the offense never got it back, and the defense
yeah.
once
Well,
again had to kind of go out there on a short drive and make a stand against a very high powered offense. And then that, like you said, we're down 14-0, and here we go.
yeah. Well, the offense did pick it back up on the last drive of the first half. And that's when they were driving down, about to make it, 7-14, going into the half and getting the ball back, which would have still been a game. And then that's when the ugly interception happened. And then we let them run it back to midfield, and then 14 seconds left in the half. Our defense, which had stood up to the challenge for the last 5 drives, blows it on 2 plays,
Hmm.
lets them go down and score. And then we're down 21. And then it's, hope is fading fast as a team,
Yeah.
right? Um, quite honestly, because of what we've already been through this season and what we've been through in the last, let's say, I guess, 5 years of the program, I'm to a point where, it is what it is. It is what it is. Of course, that's going to happen, because our luck isn't, we haven't changed our luck yet.
Yeah. Oh, I
Um,
mean, yeah, let's say USF has just never had the luck on their side. You always you cannot let a game be decided by luck or referees. The USF's always kind of been a team where we got to go out there and win the game ourselves, or, it's not
mhm.
going to get handed to us by any means.
Yeah,
So,
no, not at all. We got to scrap for everything. Yeah, and we need Lady Luck on our side, for a lot of things. And
yeah.
I saw someone say or post somewhere, it's the curse of Jim Levitt, and I you know can't help but feel that. I feel like he was a big part of the program, and that's after he was gone. We had spurts of luck, but he was, and so. You can't pity about what was, but I'm really still kind of hoping that Galesh is the guy to bring that spirit back. And I'm sorry to hear you say, sitting behind them on the sideline, it just looks like they're deflated. Uh, I mean, I understand because us as fans are deflated as well, but
Yeah.
they got to get some kind of spark.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it starts every play. That spark can be brought back to the sideline, but yeah, yeah, it's been a rough season, injury wise. We're not kind of where we thought we were going to be, and it's just one of those things you can kind of tell. Um, right now, we're just kind of trying to salvage what's left, and we're not. There's nothing to really fight for anymore. I guess a
There is a
a
bowl game,
bowl,
right? Yeah.
right? And
And
great,
so,
we'll go play in the Bahamas Bowl, or something, the Boca Bowl again, which it's always fun to be in a bowl game, but we thought we
yeah,
were
well,
possibly playing for a little bit more of a prestigious bowl, and
yeah, you're right. And so I think what we said at the beginning of the season, though, is a winning record in a bowl game, we'd be happy.
yeah,
And, we are still on a better track than we were 3 years ago. And, the season where we basically went, 0-31 against, uh, you know, Division I teams.
yeah,
Um, So we are doing better. It's just still disappointing because we want so much more as a fan base. We want so much more as a student body and as a team. They want so much more, and they're disappointed in themselves as well.
yeah,
But we got 3 games left. We need 2 more wins to clinch a bowl. 3 more wins would clinch a winning season, which would be nice.
yeah.
Um, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not a situation, just given with the way the team has been playing this year, it's not ideal that we're basically, we have to win 2 out of the next 3. I would have liked for us to been in a hopefully a better position at this point, kind of more sure
Mhm.
on the bowl thing. Um, but let's talk a little bit. We'll talk some stats from the Navy game. So one thing that I did notice, which it's not too surprising nor impressive, we didn't hold them to under 60 passing yards. But once again, it's a Navy offense that is
Mhm.
very run heavy. They chew clock. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Um, and that being said, the 60 passing yards was reflected by 321 rushing yards that we gave up, which you can't, it just can't happen. You can't give up that many rushing yards.
Yeah.
And then, on the flip side of that, we we had almost opposite statistics. We had 60 rushing yards and 282. I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, 60 rushing yards, 282 passing yards. Um, so where's the running backs this game? They just completely got stuffed, all three of them. Not one of them was able to make an impact, and that was tough
Yeah.
to watch from the stands as well. Just because you need one of them to kind of create a spark as well at some point, just to kind of maybe give Navy a reason to, um, I guess, respect anything on our offense. I mean, they basically were like,
Yeah.
they're not gonna run on us. They can't run on us, so they forced us to throw the ball, and that's where I think,
They're dropping back and they're ready for us.
yeah, well, yeah, and in those first couple of drives, we couldn't run the ball, so we did have to pass the ball, and we had, um, we put Bryce in a situation where it was, you know, you throw or get off the field, and that's kind of where
Hmm.
some of these interceptions get forced sometimes.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and I mean interceptions and even just bad connections. There was a lot of missed balls, but we also had a lot of dropped balls, hitting receivers in the hands.
yeah,
If
one in particular in the first half would have made it. I don't know. No, it would have made it a 14-7 game. A beautiful ball
Mhm.
right over the top. Bryce Archie put it right where it needed to be. Almost similar to that last game where you said he put it. It almost
In his
surprised
hands.
the receiver that the ball was
Yeah.
right on top of him. Um, and that's a stadium deflator too. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone in the stadium got up and was sure that we were going to score a touchdown on that play when we could see it unfold right in front of us. He was 3 steps ahead of the defender. The ball was
Hmm.
coming down right in his red basket, and then 2 seconds later, you see that ball roll into the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
That was a tough one to watch. So,
Yeah.
um,
And those are things that just cannot happen. And especially once a season maybe dropping a ball like that, but we've seen it time and time again.
I think once
You
a
know,
game at least.
this is it's not a pattern we want to get into. It's we those receivers need to be catching 100 balls straight every single practice before they can go home, right? That's what they're there for. They need to be able to catch the damn ball. It's getting kind of ridiculous, right?
Yeah,
I saw somewhere I don't recall the exact article, but they were saying these freshman receivers are ready to make a name for themselves, and I'm ready to see them. Because who we got out there, our transfers aren't doing it. They are making names for themselves, but for all the wrong reasons.
yeah,
You know, and it's just becoming a joke at this point, and we need to figure out how to fix that.
yeah. Yeah, I guess we can go maybe on to the defensive side of the ball a little bit, though. And we talked about it a little bit earlier. Tough, kind of tough cards dealt to them in the first couple of drives, but they were able to adjust, and they did a great job adjusting. Like we said, that last play of the first half, that was a very unfortunate, explosive play with
Hmm.
seconds left on the clock. You hate to see it happen. It can't happen, but it did. And so that's where they kind of started to pull away. But that being said, after those first two drives, uh, it took one explosive play and then the rest of the second half until the fourth quarter for them to actually score again. Um,
Hmm.
and so that's one of those things where, um, as much as the defense has struggled this year at some points, we can't pin, you can't expect, um, well, I mean, I guess you can. You have to expect them to hold teams to 21 or under, but what you do expect is your offense to be able to kind of keep you in it
Hmm.
and be able to fight for a win when the defense is holding the team to 21 points, right? Or
That's
20,
exactly right. That's
28.
exactly right. And so, in my opinion, Navy is a good football team. In my opinion, the defense did their job.
Yeah.
They held them to 28 points, which 28 points is a lot, but they're going to score points.
And
And
they've scored more points on a lot of other teams this year.
yeah, but we needed to also be able to score points, keep pace.
Yeah.
Um, and then, it becomes a different game when we're within a score. The strategies change all the way around. And so, uh, We needed to stay in the game. We need to have some offensive production.
Yeah,
It's it's that's our weakness now is our offense. We
yeah,
can't score. And it's not necessarily because they're stopping us. It's because we're stopping ourselves with either dumb penalties or misconnections or dumb decisions and thrown interceptions or whatever it is. It's us. We are our own worst enemies right now,
yeah.
which we need to get out of our own way. And I don't even know what I'd like to see happen except for that to be cleaned up. I don't know who needs to get better because quite honestly, it's an entire unit. And that what I'm thinking now is the entire team needs to get, kind of a better attitude and,
Yeah.
sense of can do. I don't think they think they can win anymore, and they're happy when they do pull one off against a lesser team, but that's not anything to be proud of.
Yeah, I mean, they're facing anyone that's going to give them any sort of challenge. They, maybe go into warmups thinking, "Hey, we can do this." After the first drive, it's like the
Hmm.
sideline is stagnant. I mean,
Yeah.
you got
You
the
know,
guys with towels. They're hanging the towels around their necks, just holding on to the towels, just kind of watching it unfold in front of them. I mean, no one's chewing anyone out. No one's getting on anyone's ass. No one's smacking someone's helmet or it's just there's no heart. And it is hard to watch. And I hate to think. I mean, I hate to think it's Golesh. He needs to be the kind of the catalyst of it. And we like everything he says in the press conferences, and he talks the talk, and he's proven to be able to walk the walk. But um, one thing I need him to, I guess, a true like a manager can make plans and make sure things get done, but a leader needs to motivate people. I
hmm
need him to motivate these guys. He needs to motivate this team. Like they need to go, they need to come out of the tunnel ready to go to war for him. It just
hmm
seems like they're assuming his process will get them a win. But
Yeah, yeah. Well, exactly. Now they're settling back and relying on process, and at the beginning of the season, I think they were coming out, ready to go to war for not only him, but for each other.
mhm.
They had that fire, and it's just been, rained on too many times, and but we need to be able to reinvigorate that,
Yeah.
and Galesh has got to be the guy to do it. It's got to come from the top.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's up to him. But yeah, so yeah, tough game overall against Navy. Not a great showing, especially in the home stadium. Did not instill any more confidence.
Yeah, well, that's another thing I was going to say. There was nobody in the stadium.
Right.
It was very empty. And so that's also kind of a bummer, for the team. So, I mean, I understand that as well. But that just shows because Navy's a good team. That should have been a game that was marked on all of our calendars that we want to go see. Two teams compete for possibly going to the ACC champ or AAC championship. Um, and so that should have been a full live crowd, but it shows how deflated the fan base is too.
Yeah.
Which I'm sorry to say, I understand. I
Yeah.
understand.
Well, I
Um,
mean, when your team is on the brink of history, you want to be there. You want to
mhm.
experience it in person. You want to say, "I was at that game." We don't. There's nothing. There's nothing to play for right now. We're not. If I can
Yeah,
go to the, I can go to the Tulsa game in 2 weeks. When they're back in Tampa. Oh, even if we win the game, great. We won. We won a regular season game to play for nothing. We're not even playing for an AAC title. We're not really playing for a shot at even a relatively
respectable
respectable
bowl.
bowl
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
That's what draws the fans in is
Playing for something. Yeah.
in situations that they
Hmm.
want to say that they were there when this happened.
Yeah.
I don't really care to say in 15 years, oh man, I was at that Tulane game when when we won our fifth game of the season,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't matter, unfortunately.
No, yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, let's talk about our next game. Who we got? We got Charlotte coming up.
Yep,
Uh,
Charlotte will be up there in Charlotte, so be the first time I think the boys have played up there in their stadium.
yeah,
Uh, it's going to
old
be
Charlotte City.
yeah, old Charlotte City College there. One of these teams that we were when they announced they were coming into the AAC, we were like, why?
Hmm.
There's a couple of teams that like that, but unfortunately, those teams that we talked about have all but Charlotte, which may change, whooped our ass. So let's
So
go up
that's
there.
why. So that's why, because
Right.
they're our real competition.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll go up there. Had a chance to watch a little bit of their game against
Hmm.
Tulane, and uh, they they had honestly, unfortunately for them, they had a similar game that we had against Tulane.
I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah, they showed some pop though, and they showed some heart, especially when they were the first few drives on both offense and defense. I mean, they were putting pressure on the quarterback. They were running the ball pretty well. It just kind of got away from them. Same way. It happens. Tulane's a good football team. They're a ranked program right
Yeah.
now, so um, I think it's kind of funny, and as hard as it is to say, I think they're going through very similar struggles um, to what we're going through right now. It's going to be a game where you're going to watch almost mirrored teams kind of duke it out, and so it'll be kind of interesting to watch. I know they struggled with those mid-range passes and then making a tackle. So a lot of those 5-10 yard passes turn into 15-25 yard gains. They struggled to protect the quarterback a little bit, kind of like we've been doing all season. So Tulane was able to get to their guy a lot. So it's going to be kind of an interesting game to watch. We're going to watch basically, like I said, two mirrored teams kind of duke it out there in Charlotte.
Yeah. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I would like to see us come out with some kind of heart, but you said, they played with a lot of heart, so and this might be a battle of wills here. If we're both having the same kind of issues,
Yeah,
who can put it together and come out with a win? What's their record right now? Do you know, Charlotte's?
yeah, they are 3-7, I guess. Right? No, 3-6. What?
Yeah,
Right? Well, they've won
I'm
three
not sure.
games. They
Yeah.
just lost to Tulane, so either three and
Okay.
six or
Yeah.
3-7 at this point. I think they have, I guess, three more games left as well. So um, 3-6, it would
Hmm.
make sense. But yeah, they're like I said, they're going through.
So yeah, then they're not even playing for I guess a possible. Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say bowl game, but they might be.
I guess they might be. I mean, they got to beat us, and so
Yeah.
I mean, that's something for them to play for. Um, we got to
Hmm.
play for the same reason, right? So I'm really hoping we can come out and show some heart against those guys because I know they want to beat us. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, we
Yeah.
we have to beat them. I don't know if our guys think we're just superior, which they shouldn't at all. But
Yeah.
those guys, they're going to come out and they're going to try to beat us, and we got to go play hard.
Hmm.
Doesn't matter who it is at this
Yeah, we
point.
got to
You
go
never,
earn every single win. Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, it'll be an interesting game. I don't know kind of what's going on with the quarterback situation on our side of things. I would love to see number 17 back out on the field. I think
Yeah.
he kind of offers. He's that guy that motivates the team when he's on the field. He's
Hmm.
always fighting for yards and fighting to put us in a good position. I think he
Yeah.
does kind of motivate the team a little bit. And not that no knock on Bryce, but I'd love to get him back
Yeah.
on the field. I think some of these
Well, he
games may have
makes
been
things
different.
happen. He is a playmaker. He's not without his faults. But
Right.
when it comes down to it, he can make someone miss and, go for a, 20-yard, scamper. So that's what we need to see, someone who can bring a little bit of an X factor back to our offense. Um, and so I'd like to see him back. Do we know his injury or his status?
Uh, he didn't. So I didn't see, and I don't
The
know if you were
update?
able to find a weekly presser going into this game. I don't know if they've posted anything.
No.
So I was looking for that just to try to see if there was any information out there on kind of what was going on with him. I mean, I know it was a leg. I think it's a leg injury. He's been able to practice for the past couple of weeks, but they don't want him to go unless he's 100%. And so I guess it's still kind of just a day to day, kind of a game time
Yeah.
decision. But we've got to win. If he's not back this
Yeah.
game and we don't win, I mean, there's no reason.
For him to come back.
Well, no, there is. I mean, if we are going to get this bowl
Oh
game,
yeah, because then we have still two more games left. Yeah.
it's win or go home at that point.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if
That's what I was
he's
gonna say. Yeah. It's
yeah, so I'd love to see him. Like I said, I think we're all like every USF fan is kind of waiting for some news on that, and
yeah.
we'll have to see what's going on there.
Yeah.
But
Well, yeah, hopefully no matter who's throwing the ball or handing it off, hopefully we can come up with some energy and a good win this weekend.
yeah, that would definitely be great. But I guess in other news, I just got a notification. Men's soccer just lost to Charlotte. I
Hmm.
think they're playing in their conference tournament right now, so it looks like we just got knocked out there. Basketball was able to pick up a win against Arkansas Pine Bluff earlier this week. I'm not sure if they're playing tonight, but we'll kind of keep up with that. I'm interested to see kind of what's going to happen with the team this year and how
Hmm.
they're going to rally around the situation. Um, so we'll definitely have to get out there in the Yuengling Center and catch a couple of games this season,
Yeah.
support the guys. But yeah, I mean, not much good necessarily going on in USF athletics right now to report on. So
Yeah.
um,
Well, but we're still here. We're still hoping for the best.
yeah,
We've been through a lot of storms before, so we're just gonna ride it out until we see some light again.
definitely. Hopefully, the light is this weekend against Charlotte.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, I think that's going to wrap up today's episode. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully, next week we'll have a little bit more high energy. Be able to talk about another win, maybe a
Hmm.
bowl appearance. On the brink of a bowl appearance. So, anyways, as always, follow us _Bulls Brothers on Instagram, and we will see you next week. Hopefully, talking about a win.
Go Bulls.